Okay, we're recording. All right, guys, thank you for calling in, joining me. Couple things I wanted to tell you guys. Hopefully, I know a lot of you are registered for convention, so super, super excited. Dusty and I have some fun things we're trying to get planned for us. If they work out, it'll be really fun where we want to try to have an evening where all of us can get together. And so we're working really hard. And if this doesn't work out, we're going to meet somewhere. I mean, it's Vegas, right? There's plenty of places, but we have a really fun idea. We're trying to get together. So make sure if you haven't got registered for convention, you still have time to do that. And tonight I kind of wanted to, I've done this on a couple of team calls where I've kind of went through and talked about goals and struggles and different things like that, and just kind of, you know, talked with a few ambassadors that were on and went through kind of some troubleshooting, giving ideas, tips, things like that. And I had some feedback that was really, really good, because it helps when other people are kind of talking about those things out loud. And maybe it's something that, especially on the struggles end, where if there's a struggle, somebody really doesn't want to talk about that, you know, maybe to your sponsor or to anybody in general. So I kind of thought, usually we get to talking about the goals, and everybody loves to talk about their goals, their next goal. But I thought maybe we could kind of narrow it down and talk a little bit about struggles tonight, and kind of go through with a few of you guys that can kind of be the guinea pigs. And talk about anything that you're struggling with, whether it's even with your products or with your Plexus business, of course, and we can help kind of maybe troubleshoot some of those, give some suggestions. And this is kind of open for everybody to give suggestions. Now, I want you guys to understand too, don't be hesitant to share your struggles, because I guarantee I've probably been through them in the over 4 years that I've been doing this. And I guarantee that if I haven't, somebody else on this call has, because it's just part of this, okay? So I kind of wanted to open it up first and just talk about that and see if there's anything that you guys are struggling with that we can kind of talk about. And then also, this will be a great recorded call that maybe our teams, sidelines, anybody will listen to, and maybe it'll help them. So first, I'll just ask you guys, is there any volunteers of anybody that wants to talk about something that they're struggling with right now, or that's frustrating, or you want to, do better at? Anything like that, you guys? Do you have anything that you want to talk about? And we'll go from there.
I do.
Perfect. Go for it, Libby.
I have a really hard time. Obviously, okay, I've had a couple of killer months, but I wear myself out to where,
yep.
My why is big enough, right? But I'm starting to feel lots and lots of stress. And so it's emotionally starting to break me down.
Exactly. Okay. Write this down. Okay. So that's definitely something that I have been through more than once. And it's definitely something, Libby, that will come and go throughout your journey. Definitely. Okay. The biggest thing for me that I've had to realize is I've had to do my time management, where I've had to sit and look at my schedule and say, okay, am I overdoing it? Am I not giving myself time to kind of de-stress, de-plexus, a little bit, doing something for me that is positive, but you got to have a little bit of that time every single day, of course. But even if it's just a weekend or something, to go and not, answer your messages, not, you got to have that time. And sometimes even when you do that and getting back, like on Monday, you're refreshed and it's so much better. And when you're stressed, we know we're not as good for our teams, because we're wore out. We're kind of, and we're not giving our teams the best that we can. I have been there because there's times when I answer questions and I'm like, oh, I could have answered that so much better, like tomorrow thinking about it, how I answered it today. So it does us so good to just take those deep breaths and kind of sit back, do your time management, or, figure out your schedule where you can kind of do better on. This is one thing we learned at Jules training that I love. And I think it's super, super important is when a lot of those messages come in, when you get the voice messages too, when you're dealing with some of those, and it can be overwhelming because you're trying to answer them in the morning. And for me, you guys, I will totally be honest, I was the worst at my messages because I thought I was going to forget. So when I saw that message come through on Messenger, I was like, oh, I was obsessed. I was answering it right away. Okay. That was bad. We learned at Jules training, don't do that to yourself because it can definitely stress you out and wear you out, is to take that time a couple times a day, 3 times a day, whatever it is, and pick that time to sit down when you're refreshed and look at those messages. That's the time to answer those messages. And they gave us some statistics, and I believe it was it would take 2 hours or something crazy to answer through the day all of our messages, where if we sat down, it would take us 10 or 20 minutes to answer messages and be done. And we're talking about as a Jewel, you have several coming in, plus your customers that you're following up with and your new contacts and your team. It's the same no matter what rank you are, because you guys are out there recruiting too and following up, and you've got your teams. And so that's a lot of it, Libby, I think too, is figuring out the best time to just kind of, do the important things, prioritize with Plexus, and don't get too overwhelmed. Jimmy, do you want to go into that? Because
I have to add to it. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here going, oh, you were, everything you were saying was awesome. This is just kind of my thing. I will tell you that since Jeannie talked to me about not checking those messages all day long and just having a set time to check those, that has been huge for me, just a really, really big time saver. Another thing is, I'm sure you probably do a power hour. I'm really strict with myself on that power hour. I shut my notifications off for Messenger. I do not answer the phone or text messages or Messenger unless I see it and it has to do with what I'm doing at the moment, or, my child lost his teeth at school or some crazy thing like that, right? Another thing, Summer has really struggled with this lately, and this is something that I challenged her to do, and she's been doing it, is to take one night off during the week and just be with her family and be a wife and be a mom, or if she needs to, neglect her family and have summer time. I think that that's really, really important. And having that time for yourself, which I know, you work out and everything, and I think that that's great. Because for me, that's kind of my stress reliever when I'm making it to the gym and I'm having that time to myself. So I would say that, that, and just, being structured, trying to be organized, set those business hours, and try your best to stick with them.
It is just like that. I've heard it before. I just have never done it because I thought I've always been big into customer service. Okay. And so that's probably my biggest weakness, is that I don't like people to wait for their answer. And then recently I've had a situation where, I was so busy that I wasn't able, I glanced at it and forgot that I got the message. And then it kind of caused a little bit of turmoil later in the afternoon because I didn't get back to that person. And so I have a really hard time because I don't want people to feel like they're not important and I can't get to them right away. But at the same time, it's starting to really break me down.
Exactly. And you know what? And I get that, because I'm kind of the same way. I was constantly, immediately responding to those messages all the time. And I will, if I'm not doing anything, I'll check my messages and I'll respond. But I try for the most part to leave it, I usually do it in the morning around lunchtime and then like later in the afternoon. One thing to think about with this is most people, they love you and they don't want you to run yourself into the ground. You're doing this for a reason, to have a better life and to enjoy your time with your family and to have that freedom. And most people, they're not going to expect you to just be at their beck and call. Another thing that Jeannie taught me was, and this was something that I think me, her, and Dusty were all kind of suffering from, and so was our family. Hearing our kids say they hate our phone, they hate Facebook.
Well, you just made me think of
Go ahead.
just made me think of something too, is that if I'm constantly busy like this, that's not attractive to
That was
people.
my next point.
Okay.
If you are responding to somebody at 11 o'clock at night, are they going to want that job?
Right.
That was the next thing I was going to say, so you just took it out of my mouth.
Well, and there was like a week that I went gung-ho with like my business hours, and this is when I did, like, it was like, whew, I felt so much better. But I just have to break those bad habits, and that's.
And it's hard, Libby, because I will tell you, like, Jimmy just restructured hers again this week, and we're constantly, it's the same. You are completely normal. I'm sorry, but you are normal. Because I have not perfected that. And it is so hard because you get off of that. It's so easy to do that for a week or two, and then things are rocking and rolling, and there are times that I am completely out of that. And then it's like, okay, you hit that spot where you get, okay, I've got to, refocus, take a day, reorganize. I can do this, but I can do this in a much better way. And like I've said before on some of the team calls, being very transparent with your team too, and letting them know, hey, this is the deal. I am here for everybody, but if there is messages that come in and I can't get back to you, just know, has nothing to do with you. I promise I'll get back to them as soon as I can, but teaching them where to get the answers too, as we all know, is the best thing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they still don't. And so you can only do what you can, Libby, but you nailed it, because that's exactly what I wrote down too, is setting example even for your teams. And for, with saying, it's kind of like, do they really want to do this if I'm constantly, and
right.
I was the same way, Libby. Oh, I can tell you I was the same way. And I loved it though. There was times I loved it and it drove me.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And so you'll have that, and then you get out of that. And then when you feel like this, you're like, okay, I got it. And a lot of times it's at the first part of the month.
Yeah. Like Jeremy's like, okay, where did my wife go? Because she's a hot mess right now emotionally.
Exactly. Yes. Just tell him.
I was like, I can't give up my workout time.
Yeah. No, don't you ever, because Libby, I'm telling you, will not be worth it. You betcha. Wait. So very good, Libby. I love that. Okay. Anybody else have anything they're struggling with they want to put out there for us to discuss? Anybody? I don't want to have to pick on people. I'll do an eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
And I don't want to be the only one ranting and raving.
No, you did perfect, Libby. Thank you. And Raisha, I know you're on your phone. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Hey, Jeannie.
Yes,
I'll go.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go and kind of tell everyone what I did this last weekend. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay, so even at Senior Ruby, you get in a rut. Sometimes things don't go right. I've had struggles with my team. I love my team, but we had some issues and lost part of the team, which it's been hard to get through, but we're pushing through it, okay? And we're moving back up now. But during this time, there have been days that I just have not wanted to do anything. And there have been days where I haven't done anything other than like management mode, what I need to do for my team, posting on the team page. I will tell you one thing is that really, really helps is talking to Jeannie when I need to before I blow up. Okay. Very helpful. So I suggest that. I suggest reaching out and not just sitting and suffering, guys. Okay. But I had some things that just kind of fell in place for me at the right time this last week. It's really making me realize that sometimes, I don't know, people, they just need the right thing to pull them out. Like Jeannie herself could not pull me out of what was going on with me. But I had, I got involved in this chat thread with other senior Rubies, which has been amazing to see that I'm not the only one that this type of stuff has happened to. Okay. I got my coaching calls with corporate this last week, which was amazing. I've got the opportunity to do an amazing leadership training. I know there was other stuff in there. That's just like at the top of my head. Oh, the second Jewel video that was on Dusty's team page. At the end, I can't remember her name, but at the end, she talked about getting home late at night and not wanting to do her contacts. And she remembered a video that she had done, or that she had watched, where the girl said, sorry, my daughter's loud, where the girl said, to do it anyways and do one more. So on Saturday, I took that list of contacts that I was supposed to do on Tuesday that I didn't do because I was having a really crappy day. Mm-hmm. And it was a list of 20. I started making them. I got 18 of them done and found 2 I had apparently contacted at one time. And these are all cold contacts. So they needed to go to a follow-up list because I firmly believe in when you're making your new contacts, they need to be new. They need to be new, never talked to people about Plexus before. So I went to my master list to grab 2 more, and I thought about what she said about 1 more. So I grabbed 5 more, and I made those. Then I went and did a meeting that was awesome, and then I came home and noticed that somebody had liked one of my Plexus posts. I was going to bump her up on my list, but I'm like, no, I'm messaging her right now. So number 26 wants the products. We talked about the business. She saw the income disclosure statement and saw Diamond and freaked out. I am so thankful that I made those contacts that day and that I made that extra one. Out of this, I think I've probably had like 10 responses today. One of them, I met with him for coffee this morning, and I have another meeting, so total chicken list person on Friday. So I just needed to get back into my activity. I also have a challenge going on my team page for my team with this, where I was very vulnerable with the struggles that I've had and letting them know that it's not just them. And kind of a intimidating challenge, but I have several of them that have accepted it and jumped in on it. And I'm like, if it sends one person into momentum, it was worth it. Yeah! So kind of what's happened with me.
Love it, Jimmy. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And
you're welcome.
Thing too, I was going to add to Jimmy when we were talking too, was her mindset. And I had told her, when she went into reaching out and she went into just like everything with her team, it is amazing when she was positive, she was gung-ho, she was focused, she was like, okay, I'm ready, I've got this. Everything changed for her. It was awesome because her reach outs, they can feel that. Like I always tell you, people know. So when she did those, it was like, she obviously was doing them from her heart, and that was huge. Her mindset was so powerful to pull herself out of that too, and to be successful with, those contacts and with her team and, just in general. So I really believe your mindset is so, so important. So thank you, Jimmy, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Betcha. And I see Serena joined us. Nice for you to join us, Miss Serena. Hello. Serena, we're talking about struggles. We were going through, kind of just catch up real quick, talking about any struggles that anybody's had. We're just kind of opening it up and talking about that and kind of talking through some of those, being transparent and vulnerable here and hoping it'll help maybe, you know, struggles that somebody's had that we know most all of us have had either the same struggles or at least one or two of us have. So we're kind of going through that. And I'm asking if anybody has any other struggles that they would like to share that we can talk about, or frustrations, you know, anything, because I feel those are so important to get off of your chest and to talk, just like Jimmy said, kind of, she nailed it about, you know, just talking to your upline or sideline or somebody, your sponsor. And sometimes it's not always the best positive thing, but it helps. It helps to talk about it, even if it's just a, you know, a negative or frustration thing. So does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? We have a few more minutes, or anything they're struggling with. Okay, Serena, do you have anything? You knew I was gonna say. Nobody else will unmute.
You call me out. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure maybe Bert Liberty touch base on this, because we've talked about this before, but I find that I work so hard during the latter part of the month, basically in panic mode, honestly, because you're trying to reach your goals, and you're like, at the beginning of the month, you're like, oh, I've got time, this is gonna work out, I'm reaching out to all these people, everything will just fall into place. And it doesn't. And then at the end, you're freaking out, going, oh my God, I need 500 people still. What is happening? And so you work really hard at the end, and you get your goals, and then you all of a sudden you're like, I'm tuckered out. I need a break. And so then the vicious circle starts all over again, right? So this month with the 7-day challenge, I have found that I started out, or I hit last month, you know, reaching out to people and saying, hey, we're going to be doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. And then I continued that into the first part of the month, and was getting my people for my 7-day challenge. Now, I will tell you that I think I only have one new person for the 7-day challenge. All of my people, Lori's here, charming in. All of my people are actually people who have taken the products and stopped, and now they're doing the 7-day challenge just as get back into the swing of things and see if we still are enjoying the products and, you know, those kind of things. And I've had a lot of success, and my phone's blowing up tonight because people are posting their selfies going, one gal just said, I am a 3 to 4 pop a day drinker, and I cut it down by 2 today because of my pink drink. So thank you, Serena. And so now all these people are like, what is this you speak of? And I'm like, magic potion, yay. So come to me, all you who are weary. So anyways, no, I think, you know, I've had the opportunity to work with Bert, and I have enjoyed our relationship. I think the 7-day challenge is amazing, and it's helping me just stay on track, because I find that if I do wait until the very end of the month where I'm in panic mode, it is draining financially, it's draining physically, it's draining emotionally, and you just get stressed out. And then by the time you get to the new month and you're like, you look at your dashboard and it says zeros across the board, and you're like, gotta do it all over again. So, you know, work hard, or keep going, you know, every day. We'll do the same things over and over. I do that every day. I reach out to my 5 to 10 people. But I don't really push them for an answer until the end. And so I have been doing better this month at just following up when somebody says, yeah, well, let me think about it. I push them. I push them to give me an answer. What is your answer? What are you thinking? What questions or concerns do you have that I can help you with understand these products or the business better? Today I had a level 4 come on, and I had a level 1 come on today, and it really does just come down to touching base with all. I'm sorry, this is just.
Never shut off BioCleanse.
Lori's excited about BioCleanse. This is just real life. BioCleanse is fun. Yeah. I don't know where I was before BioCleanse came into the situation, but we're good.
Good job, Serena. I love it. You actually gave me, because yeah, we talked about that just a little bit, kind of the same thing on Olivia and Matt, where you're really working your butt off, hard. And you at times, and you kind of nailed it. What we were talking about is a lot of times it is. It's like even the last week is so crazy for our team. People are signing up. It is unbelievable, and it's the rank ups. It's been like that for a long time, because the excitement always comes to at the end when people are trying to push for those rank ups, and you don't know where you're going to be until, that third week or, whatever. And it's crazy. So something you made me think of is, because that's one thing I love with Libby doing and you helping with this 7-day challenge, because when Libby and I talked about it, that was one big thing too, is so much happens at the end of the month with people trying to sign up new, and just you going through all of that. So this theory of doing it in the beginning of the month and really pushing it and having this different mindset of, the 7-day, getting just the 7-day slim and then having that week on, on the middle of the month or so is brilliant for that. And then one thing I've had to work on, because I'm so guilty of what Serena said, where the beginning of the month, because the last week is, it's crazy for me with pulling reports and trying to figure out where everybody's at. It's awesome. I love it, because I'm very driven by that too. So I love the excitement. But I realized the first week I am just like, kind of in that like Stone Age mode where it's like I can't even move, So setting goals towards like the 15th of the month is huge. And it is something that has been posted actually on the Jules page a lot, is having people set more goals to the 10th and the 15th of the month instead of, their PD goals, adding new ambassadors, splitting it up the first 2 weeks of the month. And, if their goal is to add 4 new ambassadors for the month, well, let's, if you can split it up, or let's get 4 before the 15th of the month, instead of thinking you have that whole month. Let's shorten it up and let's do it in that 15 days, or 10 or 15, whatever. I've seen a bunch of different things on this. PD is a huge thing. Let's get that $500 PD, $1,000 PD, whatever it is, $200 PD, by the 15th. And that has been really huge for some people. I know I've challenged some to do that. And that's a big thing, because they're want to reach out to their customers, because Serena, you are so right. And I have been guilty of it so many times, because, and we see the momentum on the team too, you guys. And I think that's what fires other people up. When there's new ambassadors coming on the team, it kind of fires up. I'm more like, okay, I got to get to doing mine, just like Jimmy was talking about too. And it's like, okay, sit down, let's do all of our reach outs. There's motivation, there's momentum going, and that's what gets everybody kind of focused, and everybody's working at the same time, so it does but like I was telling Libby, for me, it's like I strive on that too, because I'm excited for the end of the month, because of the different rank ups, and because of just seeing how many new ambassadors get added to the team, and how many new customers, and watching all of our PV, and it's incredible. It's so amazing to see. So, but setting those shorter goals is big. And I think for the 7-day challenge is awesome too. So I think that's good. All right, you guys. Well, it is 7:30. I would love to talk to you guys all night, but I better let you go. But if there's anything else, as always, comment on the team call when I post it. Any other struggles, anything you guys want to add? I know it always helps our team for any of that. So don't hesitate to do that. And Edith, just to catch you up, and Mandy, because you guys came in a little bit later, we were just talking about different struggles that we've got kind of going on. We just kind of opened it up tonight, and struggles, frustrations, anything, and just kind of talking about those. So did you want to add to that, Miss Edith? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay. So that's kind of what we were doing. So you kind of know what some of that was about, just kind of some things. Open it up to all these amazing people.
And I was frozen, just so you know. You said, Edith, just to let you know. So I'll rewatch back. I just barely got back from Ridgefield for a training class. So I turned on as soon as I got it.
I knew you did
the last of it. So.
Thank you. Yeah, you can rewatch it. I'll post the recording, and hopefully it'll help some people. And yeah, okay. That's it, you guys. Well, thanks for joining, and good to see you guys all tonight. I appreciate you all, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Thanks again.
You betcha, John.